Okay, so would you mind resending that? 'Cause some of the folks, okay, so you'll get it all.
Send it in Word so that.
Let's try to get it by the next meeting if we could.
No, that's fine.
And just give them to me in hard copy and I'll collate the information.
Excuse me, one last thing, the MMA trade show is coming up very soon. Paulie will be attending on Friday.
Okay.
Wanted me to let the board know if you'd like to go with him. He's driving, so feel free to give him a call.
Friday when?
I want to say it's next week.
Yeah, I think it is the 13th. This coming, isn't it?
I believe so.
Are you going to go? Wish to go, I would move that we make funds available for that.
Second.
The annual MMA meeting?
Yes. Okay, anything else? Open time for the public?
We had a motion second.
Oh,
And we have to
to
vote.
send Reggie to
If
Boston?
she wants
If she
to.
wants to go? Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Those in favor? Aye. If you want to go. Open time for the public, sir.
Oh, Doug's point really is a spot for me. I've a number of times talked to the town plumbers about our attitude towards business. And I'm not talking about the gas stations, the restaurants, I'm talking about the businesses in this town. We really only have two in this town. We have a machine shop, and we have a metal shop.
Not really.
Well,
Yeah, electrical
not
shop.
always
I mean,
electrical
you know.
shop. But we don't take too kindly with these people. If you people look into what it costs these people just to put an addition on, it's scary. I think it cost them $10,000 for a building permit. Not including the $12,000 they spent on just legal problems. And the size of the, the part that they put on this building isn't that big. It was $23,000 before they even got a footings in. There's no way to treat a business. Right? We pay, as an individual, I pay 3% of my taxes into this fund, while businesses are assessed 5%. Something's wrong with that picture. That's a quote from the businesses, all right? But we don't have a really good attitude about any large business that we have in this town. We really could use another 2 or 3 businesses just to help with the taxes. We need the funding, and just to sit in this meeting over on this side of the fence, it gets pointed out to me every week. I mean, we're talking about $300,000 of free cash, $200,000 of free cash, and with Prager, maybe $500,000. Right? We're short of cash, and 2.5% keeps it tight. Sometimes I say 2.5% saves a lot of us, but it really should work at bringing business into this town. And we really need, do we have an industrial park in this town? A designated area?
We do have industrial zoning in this town, that's correct. We have the highway up on the East Hampton line is the only industrial zone. However, we have a uniform tax rate for both residential and industrial and commercial in this town. Many cities fund their industrial parks with special tax rates to lure businesses in by actually giving them a reduction in rates. But we do not charge a surcharge here in the industrial and commercial rates to those businesses. They may pay more on the CPA, I'm not sure, Barb, you may know that, but they all pay the same as we do as individual residential property owners. So they actually have a deal in this town, those that choose to come here.
Yeah. Well, do we stand out there and ask and push and see if we can bring people in here? I don't think we have a committee, we don't have anybody looking into this.
Our commercial base is limited by our sewer system.
Absolutely. We don't have the sewer for it, and the town has unfortunately denied the sewer several times. We do have actually the master plan committee, which is looking into exactly this. And I would suggest coming to some of those meetings, really. They're very good. They're held in this room, and that's exactly what we talk about, is how can we attract businesses is one thing.
We haven't attracted anybody in years, have we? Good sized business, we have a machine
Well, we
shop.
have the car wash, but they had to pay their own sewer, because there's no sewer. No,
Yeah,
the
I
point
agree, I
is,
agree with you,
Yeah.
right, but that's not a business that employs 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 people.
You can't get into that until we have the only place you can do that is on the north end of town, because you can hook into the sewer if you can find the connection. In the south end of town, you can do it also if you can find the place to, because the machine shop, I believe, is hooked into the sewer, but you're limited by the sewer system, because you can't have 50, we can't even have 30 people in this building because we're limited by our sewers.
that's the thing. Barb, Flame?
Just to follow up a little bit on what this gentleman has said, I think the attitude, he's absolutely right. You can kill business by the fees that we charge. Inspection fees, license fees, those kinds of fees are a deterrent. I can speak from experience that I was on the Economic Development Committee, and the idea and the concept was to increase businesses in town. My family wanted to put an addition so that we could expand our business. We had to wait 4 years. We incurred enormous legal expenses. We were opposed by the very boards that have been advocating increasing business in town. We did not cause any additional costs to the town for services. And it took us 4 years to expand our business in this town. And I think that's a disgrace.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've spoken about it. But there were people who opposed it, and it did not hurt the town at all. And it was a very poor attitude by the town.
Okay, so I respect and I, of course, agree with the two of you wholeheartedly. I think this could be the beginning of a relationship with the Chamber of Commerce that could possibly be the infancy of changing this whole thing. And I'm not saying bring big digital businesses in here, but we could try to help the businesses we have and also to culminate the others that are in here. There's a lot of small businesses that employ 3, 4, 5 people. And they don't take a lot from the infrastructure like sewer and that sort of thing.
No, if you look at the survey, and I can't remember, maybe Barbara knows the number,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of home businesses in this town. A lot of them. I'm always, I can't remember the number, but it's a staggering number of home businesses that are here.
That's right.
Yeah,
And the most recent example was the proposal to charge businesses for having a dumpster. I think that, to me, is the most recent example of how the town of Southampton is not favorable to business.
But in defense of that, that wasn't aimed at the businesses. It was aimed at homeowners who have dumpsters in their front yards, in their driveways, but it died. But the intention there was not business, it was for people, and I've got one in my neighborhood who's got a dumpster in their front yard driveway. And,
Okay.
and that was where they were started, but then, obviously, you
But
gotta...
I think the town people came out in opposition to
it-
this kind of increased
Right.
regulation and taxation. It's indirectly, it's a fee, but it's indirectly a tax. And
It died an appropriate death.
I think that was a very good example of a recent proposal which was not very friendly to business.
I was taken aback. These people in the sheet metal shop do some work for me off and on. I build radios and I replicate things, but when he told me to pay $10,000 for a building permit, he just knocked me over.
Which
It doesn't make
machine shop?
sense.
Which machine shop?
I'm talking sheet metal shop.
We'll
They had an addition.
line with sheet metal?
Oh, Lyman.
Line, well, it's line, it's owned by the West people.
Yeah.
But $10,000.
Well, no, they had a zoning board of appeals issue about that,
Yeah, they
actually,
might-
and the slope on the.
And they got
edge-
sued by the neighbor too,
They
so
got
they,
sued by Louis
so
Kelly.
that may be all included in that. I don't think the building permit fee was $10,000, I would.
It's a percentage of the assessed value of the addition, so it just wouldn't
I'm
be.
just quoting what you said to me.
Yeah, I think
That doesn't include legal fees, which added up to $12,000.
I think we'd see that, we'd be spending that money if we had $10,000 building. I don't think it was 10,000 for the
I was on
permit.
the zoning board of appeals when that happened, and it was a lawsuit that the neighbor brought. He has a right to do that
Oh,
because.
we did, no, I had that, no, I agree with you. 100%.
Plus he had a, and I don't think it was the building permit,
No,
because he had to excavate that whole side hill and everything else.
that was the appeal.
That was the, yeah,
I don't
'cause-
know, some of these towns, I don't know how ours is, for electrical, it's $50 per visit. That's reasonable, very, very reasonable, okay? We just did, Blanchard and Daly Electric, I'm sorry, just did a medical facility in Hatfield, okay? In Hatfield, the electrical permit fee for this thing was over $5,000. Okay? Exorbitant, ridiculous. So, I don't know how the building inspector is. I don't know what his fees are. I don't think they're that bad, but I'm gonna ask him just for the heck of it. And next meeting, I'll report it to you. I think ours are pretty reasonable, I honestly do.
What do we have to do in town here to draw small business in here?
Get a sewer,
You
sewage system.
know? Yeah, starts right there.
Yeah.
You know,
The
We've
root
been trying
cause.
to do that for years,
several
as
times,
Mr. Phelan pointed out,
several times.
yeah.
We've tried from each end of town.
Well, let's see what we can do at the start of this, and we'll go from there, that's all.
All righty, well, thanks. So we are now, I believe, at the end of time.
May I report one more thing?
Yes, you may.
I'm sure the board members are aware that Five Star replaced, or, excuse me, took out the front door,
Are we talking the front door or this door
the
here?
front door,
Oh, the front.
the very front door.
Oh, okay.
They replaced the bottom sill. They put some caulking underneath to prevent the water from going underneath. They reinstalled the doors. They put in the felt on the side and the bottom of the doors, which they're really, according to Rich, they're still not shutting properly, but I think it's better. They are gonna come back and replace the hardware. Pella is gonna come back and fix this back door and the council on aging's door and the treasure collector's window. And the council on aging's window.
Can I make a suggestion? Unless you're satisfied and unless Ed, I think we.
Ed is not satisfied.
Ed is not sat, then that's the end of the, till those people are satisfied, falls on deaf ears.
Whatever happened with that door, going to the parking lot? That's not the front door, that's
It's the
the
main
back door?
That, I call that the front door.
Oh, okay, so you're
Yeah,
referring
that's
to
what
that,
I'm referring
okay,
to.
So
good.
that's the door you're talking about?
That's the door
Oh,
I'm
I'm
talking
talking, I'm
about, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Yeah,
The main entrance where folks come in and out.
okay,
We
very
should, we
good.
should come up with a designation for these doors so we
It's
know.
called main entrance, I think, isn't it a principal?
How about ceremonial entrance and main entrance?
Okay, good, I like it.
Once a year, the chairman of the board will walk through the front door like the governor does, and the rest of us will use the side door.
Did you know that the board is also supposed to go out and walk the town perimeter?
Yeah, we've never done that as long.
Every, 3 years?
Huh?
We're supposed to
I
go out
thought you were supposed to do it every year.
every year?
I think it's every year, isn't
Pick a picnic.
It's a long way,
it? You're supposed to walk the whole thing.
the whole thing, the entire perimeter of the town.
You're supposed to locate all the boundaries for the town.
Okay, so in the meantime.
I think that's a feminine project for next year.
Right. In the meantime, do we have any further business in front of the board? If not, let's take a motion to adjourn or dissolve.
So moved.
Very good, second.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 8:56.